Imagine waking up every morning, looking in the mirror and hearing a voice. This voice can either empower you or break you down. The question is, what is that voice saying? The words we tell ourselves every day are more powerful than we realize. They shape our beliefs, influence our actions, and determine the life we create. So today, I want to share with you 10 things to tell yourself every day, not just to feel good, but to become the person you are meant to be. The way we speak to ourselves is one of the most powerful forces in our lives. Every day, our internal dialogue shapes the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves, and ultimately the way we act. It is easy to underestimate the impact of self-talk because it happens in the privacy of our own minds. But the truth is, our words become our beliefs, and our beliefs shape our reality. Think about the way you speak to yourself on a daily basis. When you make a mistake, do you say, "That was stupid, I always mess things up," or do you say, "That was a learning moment, I'll do better next time"? The difference between these two responses may seem small, but over time, they create two entirely different versions of a person. One is filled with self-doubt, hesitation, and fear of failure. The other is built on resilience, confidence, and a growth mindset. The mind is always listening. Whatever we tell it repeatedly, it starts to believe. This is why negative self-talk can be so damaging. If we constantly tell ourselves that we are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough, we will eventually act in ways that reinforce those beliefs. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. On the other hand, if we consciously choose to replace self-doubt with self-encouragement, we begin to build a mindset that supports growth and success. Imagine a young child learning to walk. If they fall, we don't tell them, "You're terrible at this, you should stop trying." Instead, we cheer them on, help them get back up, and encourage them to keep going. And what happens? The child learns to walk. But somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we stop giving ourselves that same grace. We become our own harshest critics, tearing ourselves down instead of lifting ourselves up. This is why self-talk is so important. Every time we face a challenge, our minds offer us a choice. We can either encourage ourselves or discourage ourselves. When we choose encouragement, we create momentum. We push ourselves to try again, to take risks, and to believe in our ability to improve. This is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck in self-doubt. The words we use shape our emotions, and our emotions drive our actions. Consider the difference between waking up and saying, "Today's going to be stressful," versus waking up and saying, "Today's an opportunity to grow." The first statement creates tension before the day even begins, while the second sets the tone for a proactive and open-minded approach. One of the most powerful ways to shift self-talk is through intentional affirmations. These are not just feel-good phrases, they are tools to rewire the brain. When we repeatedly affirm our strengths, our worth, and our ability to overcome challenges, our minds begin to internalize these beliefs. Studies in neuroscience show that our brains form new neural pathways based on repeated thoughts. This means that the more we practice positive self-talk, the more natural it becomes. But self-talk is not just about positivity, it is about truth. It is about acknowledging our challenges while reminding ourselves that we have the strength to overcome them. It is about recognizing our imperfections while understanding that they do not define our worth. It is about choosing to be our own biggest supporter rather than our own worst enemy. Ultimately, self-talk determines the quality of our lives. The way we speak to ourselves affects our confidence, our motivation, our relationships, and our ability to achieve our goals. When we make the conscious decision to speak to ourselves with kindness, encouragement, and belief, we unlock a level of potential that we never knew existed. So the next time you catch yourself in a moment of doubt or frustration, pause. Ask yourself, if I were speaking to a friend, what would I say? Then say that to yourself, because you deserve the same kindness, the same support, and the same belief that you would offer to someone else. And when you practice this daily, you will start to see a transformation, not just in your mindset, but in every area of your life. We all have a story we tell ourselves about who we are, what we are capable of, and what our future holds. This story is shaped by our past experiences, our environment, and the voices we've listened to, both our own and those of others. But what if the story we are telling ourselves is holding us back? What if the narrative we have accepted as truth is actually a collection of outdated beliefs, limiting thoughts, and fears that no longer serve us. The good news is that we have the power to rewrite our own narrative. For many people, self-doubt begins early in life. A single comment from a teacher, a parent, or a peer can plant a seed of insecurity that grows over time. Maybe someone told you that you weren't good at math, and now you believe you'll never succeed in anything related to numbers. Maybe you failed once at something important, and instead of seeing it as a momentary setback, you turned it into a lifelong belief that you're not capable. These narratives, whether formed from personal experiences or external influences, shape the way we see ourselves, but they are not set in stone. The first step in rewriting the narrative is recognizing that our thoughts are not always facts. Just because you have believed something about yourself for years does not mean it is true. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not smart enough, I always mess things up, or I'm not the kind of person who can succeed, you are reinforcing a story that limits your potential. But if you start questioning those thoughts, you open the door to change. Rewriting the narrative requires replacing old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. This does not mean ignoring past struggles or pretending challenges don't exist. Instead, it means reframing those experiences in a way that allows growth. For example, instead of saying, I failed, so I'm not good enough, you can say, I failed, but I learned something valuable that will help me improve. Instead of saying, I've never been successful in this area, you can say, I haven't mastered it yet, but I am capable of learning. The simple act of adding the word yet to a self-limiting thought shifts the focus from permanent failure to potential growth. One of the most powerful tools for rewriting the narrative is self-awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. When you catch yourself thinking negatively about yourself, pause and ask, is this really true, or is this just a story I've been telling myself? Often we find that the stories we hold on to are based on past fears rather than present reality. Another important element of changing the narrative is surrounding yourself with people who reinforce a more positive story. If you spend time with people who constantly doubt themselves and complain about their limitations, it becomes easy to adopt that mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in growth, resilience, and possibility, their mindset will influence yours. Seek out mentors, books, and conversations that challenge you to see yourself in a new light. The process of rewriting your narrative is not about overnight transformation. It is about daily choices. Every time you replace a self-limiting thought with a self-empowering one, you are strengthening a new mental pathway. Over time, these new thoughts become your new reality. The version of yourself that once felt stuck and incapable can evolve into someone who embraces challenges, believes in possibilities, and moves forward with confidence. At the end of the day, the most important thing to remember is that you are the author of your own story. No one else gets to decide your worth, your abilities, or your future. Only you do. And the moment you choose to rewrite the narrative, you take back control of your life. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success. They wait for inspiration to strike, for the perfect moment when they feel energized and ready to take action. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, influenced by emotions, circumstances, and external factors beyond our control. This is why those who rely solely on motivation often struggle to make lasting progress. The real key to success is not motivation, it's consistency. Consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up when things get difficult. It is the quiet discipline of showing up every day even when you don't feel like it. It is the ability to take small, repeated actions that compound over time, leading to significant results. While motivation is exciting and makes us feel good in the moment, it is consistency that builds habits, skills, and long-term success. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it requires massive bursts of effort. People believe they need to work tirelessly for hours, make drastic changes overnight, or push themselves to extremes to see results. But success is not about intensity, it's about persistence. Small daily efforts are far more powerful than occasional bursts of motivation. Take fitness as an example. Many people start workout routines with excitement, feeling motivated to transform their bodies. They go to the gym 5 days in a row, push themselves hard, and expect immediate results. But when motivation fades and life gets busy, they stop showing up. Compare this to someone who commits to just 30 minutes of exercise every day, even on days they don't feel like it. Over months and years, The consistent person will always outperform the one who relied on motivation alone. The same principle applies to any goal. Writers who commit to writing a few hundred words every day will finish books, while those who wait for inspiration may never start. Entrepreneurs who take small, consistent actions to grow their business will make progress, while those who only work when they feel motivated will struggle. Learning a new skill, improving relationships, or building a successful career, everything in life rewards consistency over temporary motivation. So how can we develop consistency? The first step is to set realistic, achievable goals. Many people set themselves up for failure by aiming too high, too fast. If your goal is to read more books, instead of committing to an hour of reading every day, start with just 10 minutes. If you want to improve your health, instead of trying to follow a perfect diet, begin by making one healthy choice a day. Small actions done consistently lead to lasting change. The second step is to create systems, not just rely on willpower. Habits are formed through repetition, and the easier we make it to follow through, the more likely we are to stay consistent. If you want to exercise regularly, schedule it into your day like an appointment. If you want to eat healthier, prepare meals in advance so you don't have to make difficult choices in the moment. Setting up systems removes the need to rely on motivation. The third step is to accept that some days will be harder than others. Consistency does not mean perfection. There will be days when you don't feel like doing the work, when progress seems slow, or when obstacles get in the way. The key is to show up anyway, even if it's just in a small way. A short workout is better than skipping the gym. Writing one paragraph is better than writing nothing at all. Progress, no matter how small, keeps you moving forward. Over time, consistency builds momentum. What once felt like effort becomes second nature. Habits become automatic, and results start to appear. This is the true secret to success, not waiting for motivation to strike, but developing the discipline to keep going even when you don't feel like it. At the end of the day, motivation is unreliable, but consistency is unstoppable. The people who achieve their dreams are not always the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who refuse to quit. And if you commit to showing up every day, no matter how small the effort, you will achieve more than you ever thought possible. Every day we wake up with a choice, how we will see the world, how we will respond to challenges, and how we will approach our goals. Our mindset is not something we are born with or something that is fixed. It is a choice we make repeatedly in every situation. The way we think determines the way we act, and the way we act determines the results we get. This is why success, happiness, and growth are not purely based on talent, luck, or external circumstances, but on the mindset we choose to adopt. Many people go through life believing that their mindset is shaped by their experiences. They assume that if life is going well, they will feel positive, and if things are difficult, they will feel negative. But the truth is, our mindset is not determined by what happens to us. It is determined by how we interpret what happens. Two people can face the exact same situation and respond in completely different ways simply because of the mindset they have chosen. For example, imagine two people lose their jobs. One person sees it as a disaster, thinking, I'll never find another job. I've failed. They spiral into self-doubt and fear, which affects their confidence and willingness to take action. The other person, however, sees the same situation as an opportunity. They think, this is a chance for me to find something even better. What can I learn from this? They take proactive steps, improve their skills, and stay open to new possibilities. The situation is the same, but the mindset determines the outcome. One of the most important choices we can make is whether we adopt a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that our abilities, intelligence, and talents are set in stone, that we are either good at something or not, and that failure is proof of our limitations. A growth mindset, on the other hand, is the belief that we can improve, learn, and develop with effort and persistence. Those with a growth mindset see failure not as a dead end, but as a stepping stone to success. Choosing the right mindset does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that everything is easy. It means approaching challenges with the belief that they can be overcome. Life will always present obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected changes. But when we choose a mindset that focuses on solutions rather than problems, we empower ourselves to take control of our lives. One of the best ways to develop a strong mindset is to be intentional about the thoughts we allow into our minds. Negative thoughts will always try to creep in, doubts, fears, and insecurities, but we have the power to challenge and replace them. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, we can train ourselves to think, I am capable of learning this. Instead of, this is too hard, we can tell ourselves, this is a challenge that will make me stronger. The way we talk to ourselves matters. Another key to strengthening our mindset is surrounding ourselves with the right influences. The people we spend time with, the books we read, the conversations we engage in, all of these shape our perspective. If we are constantly exposed to negativity, complaining, and self-doubt, it becomes harder to maintain a strong mindset. But if we surround ourselves with people who are positive, ambitious, and growth-oriented, their energy influences us to think in the same way. At the end of the day, mindset is the foundation of everything we do. It affects our confidence, our happiness, our ability to take risks, and our willingness to keep going when things get tough. And the best part? It is always within our control. No one can take away our ability to choose how we think, and when we consistently choose a mindset of growth, resilience, and possibility, we set ourselves up for a life of success and fulfillment. Every action we take, every word we speak, and every attitude we carry has an impact, not just on ourselves, but on the people around us. Positivity is not just a personal trait. It is a force that spreads far beyond what we can see. Like a stone thrown into a pond, our thoughts, words, and actions create ripples that touch lives in ways we may never fully realize. This is the ripple effect of positivity, and it has the power to transform individuals, communities, and even the world. We have all experienced the power of someone else's energy. A single kind word from a stranger, a smile from a coworker, or encouragement from a friend can shift our entire mood. On the other hand, a negative interaction, someone's anger, criticism, or indifference can drain our energy and affect our mindset. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly influencing those around us. The question is, are we spreading positivity or negativity? Positivity is not about ignoring problems or pretending that life is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on solutions rather than obstacles, on gratitude rather than complaints, and on encouragement rather than criticism. When we make this choice, we not only improve our own well-being, but we also create a chain reaction that inspires others to do the same. One of the most powerful ways positivity spreads is through kindness. A small act, holding the door open, offering a compliment, or simply listening to someone who needs to talk can brighten someone's day. But the impact does not stop there. When people experience kindness, they are more likely to pass it on. A person who receives a kind gesture is inspired to be kind to someone else, creating an ongoing ripple effect. Studies in psychology show that kindness is contagious. When people witness generosity or compassion, they're more likely to adopt those behaviors themselves. Another way positivity spreads is through our mindset and attitude. When we approach challenges with optimism, others notice. When we remain calm in stressful situations, we set an example. Our energy is like a signal that influences those around us. In a workplace, a single positive leader can uplift an entire team. In a family, one person's optimism can shift the household dynamic. And in friendships, the way we show up, whether with joy, encouragement, or understanding, can change someone's entire outlook on life. Gratitude is another powerful source of positive energy. When we express appreciation, whether for a small favor or a major act of support, we reinforce the value of kindness and connection. People who feel appreciated are more likely to continue their positive actions, creating an ongoing cycle of goodwill. Gratitude also strengthens relationships, making others feel seen, valued, and respected. Of course, negativity also has a ripple effect. When we complain, criticize, or spread fear, we contribute to an environment of stress and discouragement. Just as kindness is contagious, so is negativity. But the good news is that positivity is stronger. A single positive action has the power to break a cycle of negativity. A kind response to an angry comment, a solution-famous approach to a challenge, or an uplifting conversation in a tense situation can shift the energy around us. The ripple effect of positivity is not limited to direct interactions. It extends into the choices we make, the work we do, and the values we uphold. A teacher who inspires students can shape their futures. A leader who empowers others can create lasting change. Even a simple social media post that spreads encouragement can reach people we will never meet. Many people hold themselves back because they believe that if something is not perfect, it is not worth doing. They hesitate to start a new project, chase a goal, or take a risk because they fear making mistakes or falling short of expectations. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. It is an impossible standard that leads to frustration, procrastination, and self-doubt. Real success comes not from being perfect, but from making progress. One step at a time. Progress is what leads to growth, improvement, and long-term success. No one starts out as an expert. Every master was once a beginner, every champion once struggled, and every success story is filled with failures, setbacks, and lessons learned along the way. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not perfection, it is persistent. One of the biggest dangers of chasing perfection is that it often leads to inaction. Many people delay their dreams because they feel they are not ready yet. They tell themselves they will start when they have more knowledge, more confidence, or when the conditions are just right. But waiting for perfection only leads to missed opportunities. The best way to grow is to start where you are with what you have and improve along the way. Perfectionism also creates unnecessary stress and pressure. When people expect flawless results, they set themselves up for disappointment. Mistakes and failures are inevitable, but they are also valuable. Every mistake is a chance to learn, to adjust, and to get better. When we shift our focus from avoiding failure to embracing progress, we free ourselves from the fear of making mistakes and become more open to learning and growth. A great example of this mindset can be seen in athletes. No runner starts off sprinting at world record speed. They train consistently, improving their time little by little. Musicians do not play flawlessly from the first note. They practice, make mistakes, and refine their skills over time. Writers do not create perfect drafts on their first attempt. They edit, rewrite, and improve their work through multiple iterations. The key to mastery is not perfection. It is continuous progress. One of the most effective ways to embrace progress is to set small, achievable goals. Instead of aiming for an unrealistic outcome, focus on making steady improvements. If you want to get in shape, start with short workouts instead of waiting for the perfect gym routine. If you want to write a book, start with a single paragraph instead of worrying about the entire manuscript. Small steps taken consistently lead to big results over time. Another important aspect of progress is self-compassion. People who chase perfection often judge themselves harshly, feeling like failures when they do not meet unrealistic standards. But growth requires patience. Instead of focusing on what you have not yet achieved, celebrate how far you have come. Recognize the small wins, the lessons learned, and the improvements made along the way. Surrounding yourself with the right influences also plays a crucial role in shifting from perfection to progress. If you spend time with people who encourage growth, resilience, and learning, you will feel more motivated to keep going despite imperfections. Seeking mentorship, learning from those who have walked the path before you, and reminding yourself that success is a journey will help you stay focused on progress. At the end of the day, perfection is a myth, but progress is real. Every step forward, no matter how small, is an achievement. The people who accomplish great things are not those who waited until they were perfect, but those who started, learned, and improved along the way. By choosing progress over perfection, you give yourself permission to grow, to evolve, and to reach your full potential.